fishing. People, when you're in the mood, let's go fishing. Well, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. Grab your hat, get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
Canadian Sport Fishing, brought to you in part by Ford Trucks, built Ford tough. Lucky Strike, producers of quality fishing tackle and landing nets since 1929. Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Canadian Power and Sail Squadrons, volunteers teaching safe boating.
Let's go fishing whenever you're in the mood. Let's go fishing. Baby, it's just me and you. Head on down to the fishing hole. You wanna grab your hat, man, and get your pole. Let's go fishing when you're in the mood.
You know, this is so neat. I'm here with Rocky and Igor. And Igor is the inventor of this rod called a Wonder Rod. Now, if you look at this rod tip, that's one or more perch that's biting on my minnows. Igor, where did you get the idea for this system?
It was a long time ago. I would say about 7 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was using the rod for the last 5 years to try it.
Right.
And I decided to make it. I bought it in Canada, in the United States.
Yeah.
And I just got some orders from Walmart, Canadian Tire,
Right.
and different fishing tackle stores.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a success for me and some of my friends and my family.
Good.
Well, they're starting to come into staging for the spring for spawning.
Mm-hmm. Already?
Oh, that was a weed, that one. Yeah, they actually start like walleyes at the end of
Right.
September, and they slowly come in, and this is where they do most of their spawning here in Virginia Beach. So
Right.
it's just a matter, we've done this before, is following them around and seeing where they are.
Yeah.
Later in the fall, they seem to sit in this 10-foot thing until they stage in the deeper water.
Mm-hmm. So we are in
Can I
about...
get 1 minute?
Yeah, please help yourself.
you.
We're in about 10 feet of water, and the water is crystal clear. You can probably see if you look down. There's a lot of weeds here. Now, you can cast artificial lures, but what Igor and I are doing are using small minnows. These are emerald shiners, which are right here in Lake Simcoe. And I'm sure that they form a large part of the diet for all of the different game fish and panfish, including the perch. Rocky's using an artificial. He's a big fan of the finesse fish, and they work great because they look like the small minnows that we're using. So I'm just going to rig this up. This is called a drop shot rig, and the reason it's called a drop shot rig, I've got literally an 1/8 ounce jig head, but without the hook on the bottom. You can see that right there. And then up about 4 inches, I have a tippet, and I've got a small Gamogatsu hook and one of these small emerald shiners. Then about 1 foot up, I've got a second Gamogatsu hook with another emerald shiner. So you know you're on the bottom when that line goes slack. And then, of course, if the line is tight, you know exactly where your first bait is. So we're letting the line out. How are you guys doing?
Oh, look at this.
Look,
Look. See, that's
double
one,
header?
That's
Yeah.
one biting there.
I got one too.
Now, you know, we're kind of cool and relaxed here. By the way, Igor, we can keep some of these fish for eating. You know, I'm sitting on a live well.
It's great to eat, yeah.
Rocky, how big or how small do you usually keep them for eating out of here? These are small?
These are small. We keep them in, 10, 11, 12 inches in around there.
Okay,
Well, this one go.
good. And if you watch, this is kind of neat. So the rod really is a short ice fishing rod. How long is it from tip to tip, Igor? The actual rod? 2 feet?
It's a little bit more than 2 feet, 2.5 feet.
Okay. And you can see the spring mechanism. The line actually off this little bait casting reel goes into the guides that are here, and then it goes down through the main guide of the fiberglass shaft. So when a fish pulls, you can see the way you can sense it. If you want it to jig and use a heavier spoon, there's no problem. That's just the weed, so I got to pull that up. Hopefully I still got my minnows on there, because we're drifting here a little bit with the wind. So this is kind of neat. You know, if we were just using an artificial, I would be jigging like this and then pausing every once in a while and waiting for a fish to hit. But because I'm using live bait and Igor is too, you can literally still fish. And this Zodiac is kind of ideal because we're real close to the edge of it, and you know, you can sit right up on the sides of it.
And you know, it's funny you were doing this because we've used this presentation for crappies and everything. It's funny taking our ice fishing rods out, our Vexilar, anchoring the boat at both ends, and especially in the fall.
Yes, I think it's neat. I can't wait to use this rod for crappie, because a lot of times, you know, when we've been ice fishing, those crappie are
When the
biting
line
so lightly.
just comes up slightly, yeah.
So you'll be able to see this. You know, if I'm pretending I'm a crappie here, if a crappie starts to bite and you see that, I call it a strike indicator coming up. I know it might look a little bit funny from that angle, but it's excellent for detecting a strike. This is kind of neat, Rocky.
Nice
You don't even
tap.
give them a chance. Oh, that's because you're using the artificial.
Well, and I'm dragging it. I felt, oh, this is not a bad one.
Okay, I got the net. I got the net.
A little better.
3 guys in a Zodiac. You know, we didn't really need the net.
No, we didn't.
Let's make it dramatic here for the camera. Now look at our set lines here. Isn't this kind of neat with our little rods? You know, Rocky, that's a nice fish. Now this is interesting. I've got 2 small minnows on mine. Igor's got a minnow on his, and you're the guy running the artificial, and you get the fish, right? It's kind of neat. So Igor, you know, we told you that these things work really well, these little finesse fish.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're excellent.
Yeah.
There. And yeah, these aren't huge jumbos, but you know what? They're good sized fish for eating. Maybe we're going to keep a couple of these. You know, this is the live well. They're right under here.
No, I haven't seen your live well.
So I only turn it on when I need to, because the water's so cold now. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just peel this cushion back. It's on snaps. Now you'd think there'd be more than one perch if you got that one, and there's the perch in the live well. So this whole thing, that's a live well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you could even, you know, keep bass alive and stuff in there.
Listen, sometimes
But
out
for
here
us
we have to use a
visitors-
pail. We just
I know,
because
I
you can't
know.
open the live well
I
that
know.
fast.
This is neat. So the whole area here, where we are, is on a large flat, and we're probably 7 to 10 feet is the average depth. And there's lots of vegetation on the bottom. It's just blanketing, and the water's crystal clear. So these perch are feeding probably within a couple of inches of the weeds. And they're going after a variety of foods, freshwater shrimp and other invertebrates like nymphs and stuff. So we're drifting. Normally, because of the water clarity, these perch are very spooky. So if you're in a larger boat, you'd have a hard time catching them like this under the boat. I don't know if I just had a bite, or that's the bottom. Let me just check for bottom. Oh, maybe that was a bite. Come on, perch. So what I'm doing, I'm just watching my little strike indicator here. But anyway, as I was saying, normally these fish in the clear water will spook away from the boat, so you have to make long casts. But because we're drifting, and this Zodiac isn't that big and bulky, this is about the 14-foot model, or 14 and a half feet. And I don't think the fish see it as much as you would a much larger boat that's got more hull in the water. So we're just covering water, and when we're finishing our drift, we just go back up to the top and drift again.
Okay, I was trolling on God's Lake in Manitoba with a husky jerk. Felt the strike immediately and reeled in a nice 23-inch walleye. It fought pretty good and pretty strong, and did turn the fish loose after I caught it, because I try to release all fish that I catch.
You know, when you're fishing on the water, it's really important that you know what the different markers mean. For example, if you see a marker that has a flashing yellow light on it, and it looks like it's close to shore, or you see waves breaking around it, it's probably a hazard buoy. And they normally mark rocks and shoals and other dangerous areas. So you're to stay away from those. So if a marker is red or green, they're probably channel markers and other markers, but hazard buoys tell you danger, keep out. Now, if you want to get more information about all of the different boating rules and regulations, and especially what markers means, you can go to the Canadian Power and Sail Squadrons, or you can contact Canadian Sportfishing directly and get through to them. To do that, just go to www.canadian-sportfishing.com, and you can get all of those questions answered, and even get your actual boat pro test.
Oh, I got one.
Good. Even after you set the hook, I'm watching the fish head shake.
Yeah.
Look at this. I wonder if it's going to get caught in my line.
I was just thinking that.
If it does, it's okay. I don't know if that's your
Yeah,
fish. Is it your
that's
fish
me,
in my
yeah.
line? Here, let me go this way. You know, these rods aren't that big. We shouldn't have problem. Oh, there's a bite on mine, I think.
Oh.
Hey, 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 hey. Rocky, you're up next. This is fun, even with these little rods. This is great. I can't wait till it freezes over.
I just want to mention, Italo,
Yes.
and this is not just great for ice fishing. You can use it in a boat, canoe,
Yeah, like we're doing right
dam,
now.
or even a dock
Yes.
fishing.
Well, kids, like panfish off the dock, they would have a riot.
But this is going to be the best child's experience.
Yes, to teach them.
Yeah.
You don't even need
Barber,
no, just a strike indicator. Now you throw. Was yours smaller than this one?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
That's
'cause
nice
that's a
size.
keeper, right?
Well, yeah.
8 inches, 9 inches. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. That means I got to get up again. Put him in my handy dandy live well. There we go.
Lake Simcoe, located only an hour and a half north of Toronto, has received North American-wide recognition for producing some of the best jumbo perch in the country. Spooky perch can take a bait very lightly. That's one of the main reasons why the boys have decided to use the Wonder Rods, which are equipped with a special strike indicator to sense even the lightest hitting perch. Zodiac's 12.6 Fish and Hunt has taken fishing from an inflatable to new heights. This craft can support a payload of 1,300 pounds and can easily handle a 15-horsepower Suzuki 4-stroke engine. It's also rigged with a recirculating live well, a center cooler with a swivel chair, and a bow-mount foot-control Minn Kota 55-pound thrust electric trolling motor. Using a fully rigged Zodiac for fishing is a smart alternative for people who enjoy driving smaller vehicles and don't like the idea of trailering a boat or storing it when not in use. The whole outfit comes apart and can easily fit into a compact car.
Look at this. Now, there's one there, and you know what? I set the hook. Now I'm going to wait a second, because I know these Gamugatsu hooks are really sharp. Because what happens with these perch, oh, you got a hit too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I just got one myself. Oh.
What'll happen is we're going over school, so I'm going to set the hook again, and I should have a couple on here. You got one. Come on. One small guy, 2 small guys. Right, these aren't big enough to keep. So I did get one on each hook, and they're not hooked too deep, I don't think, which is a good thing.
This one should be all right.
Yeah, that's a keeper. Here, I'm going to just toss him. I'm going to drop mine in the water. Tell me if you
It's
can
already
see.
in. Oh,
That's okay.
I didn't know you.
Yeah, no. You know, if I left that lid off, I'd slide in there.
You know, I was going to say, why don't you leave the lid off, but I realized you'd be going in.
Well, if you were catching one, you know, every cast kind of thing, I would.
I don't know, I just kept on casting the float upriver and down through the hole, and the salmon striked out of aggression. Well, I battled it for 20 minutes. While I was fighting it during the fight, it like jumped quite high in the air, out of the water. It had been 3-4 feet, quite high. When I landed it, took a couple pictures, and I released it.
Well, there's a little tap there, but you know what?
What?
I
You
just
lost
lost
it?
them.
Okay. Well, what I've done, because we have run across a couple of schools, I've put on one of the new Storm. They're a very small fish. It's one of the plastic minnows. You know, Storm has such an assortment of soft plastics, and some of them are ideal for using for panfish, especially in the smaller size. So I'm going to show you after I get my first fish on it. That's being optimistic, you know. So now all 3 of us are jigging here.
I just want to talk about this rod. They come in 3 different sizes:
Yeah?
light, medium, and heavy action.
Now, yours is mine. Oh, you
I
got
got
one.
one.
Is mine the medium or the light action? Because your
Yours
rod
is medium. Oh, nice size.
and yours is. Do you need the
But this
net?
is light. No,
Are you sure?
positive.
Okay. Okay.
Too far away.
Because the medium
Nice
one,
size.
yeah, that's a keeper. The medium is probably good even for small walleye.
Oh,
You can throw it right in
absolutely.
here, Igor, if you want.
I want to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the medium size, my biggest pickerel, it was 12 pound back Winnie.
12-pound is a nice walleye.
it is.
Good. Okay, I feel left out here. I think I'm going to go fish out the back. You guys fish off the side. This is kind of nice. I'm leaning on the actual shaft where the controls are on this Suzuki. and watching my strike indicator. This is very relaxing fishing, by the way. This would be perfect for kids, you know, whether they're fishing from a dock or in a boat, because they can watch the rod. And the reels, I like the little reels because they're very simple. There's not a lot of things that can go wrong with them, the little bait casters. You should explain to the viewers how the controls work, because they're very simple.
This reel, you got 2 gears.
Yeah.
Okay. And even got stop, like a brake.
So that locks it.
Yeah, locks it. Okay. And it's adjustable. You can adjust your drag
For tension.
like any bait casting reel.
Yeah. And to release the line, you just take it off the lock.
Yeah, just take it out, and that's it.
Push it back, and then the line comes off. Perfect. Yeah, imagine even large fish, you know, like you're saying you got a 12-pound walleye. You can get pike, whitefish on it.
Easy.
No problem. And it's very comfortable. I like the size that you chose for the handle, you know, so that it's not too small. Feels very comfortable in the hand.
I made special for, you know, for grab.
Yeah, to set the hook. Good. Can you still see them, Igor, down there?
No, since we no, yes.
No, yes. That's a maybe. Oh, you got a bite. Is that the hook?
Oh yeah.
You... Igor's looking over the side because you can see them. The water is so clear, you know, and it looks like it's 4 feet deep, but it's like 10 feet. Nice one. Rocky, we're going to get a chance to use your fish crisp.
Look at I got the salad.
Okay. Now, Igor got the fish, and I've got the artificial, and I haven't had a hit yet, so I'm being very patient here. This is real social fishing, you know, to fish like this. Now, you'll also notice that I'm sporting a one-piece Stearns flotation suit. And Rocky's got a two-piecer on, and so does Igor. You know, you guys were saying that the two-piecers are more comfortable. I like the one-piece because I think they're warmer. Because, you know, you can get air going underneath and stuff.
More protected.
So the one-piece, especially in the wintertime, if you're ice fishing, you know, it's a really good idea to wear a suit. A lot of guys will call these cold water survival suits. Now, I don't know if they'll help you to survive cold water. I think they'll definitely help you to float properly and, you know, will enable you to move around and stuff a little bit better than if you didn't have one on. But they're literally waterproof, so it can be raining or snowing and stuff. You can get them wet. In the wintertime, when we're ice fishing, you can kneel down and you don't have to worry about getting your knees soaked or your pants. So they're very smart, and they do float. So they're qualify as far as a personal flotation device. And you can see on mine, I've got a little whistle right here. This is the Fox 40, and man, is it loud. That's a good idea too. You know, one, for help. If you got a call, let's say we had an engine breakdown or something happened and we had to blow it. But if you're ice fishing, a lot of times, you know, if you go through the ice, especially if you're out earlier in places where the ice isn't maybe thick all over, it's a good idea. Do you take a whistle with you on the ice?
Actually, I carry one in the equipment. I haven't carried one on it, man. I have a little kit. But one thing I will say about for the two-piece suits now, that used to be a problem, but now remember the bibbing comes up this high.
Yeah, you're right. So anyway, it's good to dress smart. Today they're calling for a high of 12 and a low of like 4 or 5 degrees. But when you get on the water, and we did have rain earlier, so when you get wet,
oh yeah,
you can get
lots of fish.
You see fish?
Yeah.
Watch your strike indicator. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my minnows are a little bit big because I haven't had a hit. I'm watching my minnow. I'm fishing close to bottom. Yeah, it's nice to see that strike indicator go. Come on, Mr. Perch. Are they good size, Igor?
Yes.
Oh, Igor, did you see that hit?
Yeah.
This is awesome. It actually helps. It's nice and bright, the orange, to see the hit. Now, you called it. You said we're probably going to get one. Come on, little perch. I think he qualifies for a keeper. We're slowly building up the fish in our live well. We've got about a dozen or so for eating. I know, Rock, you like to keep them bigger. Did you have one too? This is a little male. Still on?
Yeah,
Good.
it's a half-decent one.
Good. This is good.
There we go.
There. Good one. I was going to help you unhook it, but I think you're going to do just fine. Here, we'll put it right in here. Drop them right in there. Good. Now we've got overcast skies, which is really helping us today. And we're like 3 kids in this boat watching our strike indicators.
Oh,
Now-
got one.
You were saying, Igor, that you're going to be coming out with different models of the Wonder
Absolutely.
Rod?
Yes.
Good,
Even it's going to be a 5-footer.
good. Now, for
And
ice fishing as well, or for
Ice
both?
fishing too.
Good.
And we're going to have another. Oh, that's a nice size.
Nice fish.
Oh, that's a good, better one.
Good.
We're going to have at least maybe 3 or 4 completely different rods from this one,
Good.
and accessories too.
Good. Yeah, well, these are so smart. I really like it. Especially for fish that hit soft. And in the wintertime, of course, everybody knows that a fish's metabolism is controlled by the water temperature because they're cold-blooded. So when fish are less active, they can bite very lightly, especially panfish, but even some of the larger game fish. Trout are the exception because trout are usually very aggressive even in cold water. So this is where it really makes a difference to have the strike indicator, and it's so nice just to watch it. And if people want to see the rods, the 3 different models, they can go to your website. It's www.winterwonders, with an S at the end, .ca. I was on there playing around and looking at the different models and everything.
Canadian Sport Fishing has been brought to you in part by Ford Trucks, built Ford Tough. Lucky Strike, producers of quality fishing tackle and landing nets since 1929. Rapala, premium fishing gear crafted from experience. Canadian Power and Sail Squadrons, volunteers teaching safe boating.